The influence of Indian values and philosophy on Greek history and culture is a fascinating and little-known chapter in the history of ideas. The ancient Greeks were deeply interested in Indian philosophy and culture, and many Greek philosophers, including Pythagoras and Plato, traveled to India to study Hinduism and Buddhism. The Greek historian Herodotus, for example, wrote about the Indian kingdom of Magadha and its capital city, Pataliputra. One of the most significant influences of Indian philosophy on Greek thought is the concept of the universe as an interconnected whole. The ancient Greek philosopher Pythagoras, who is credited with the famous theorem, was heavily influenced by Indian Vedic philosophy, which describes the universe as a unified, harmonious system. The concept of the universe as an interconnected whole is also reflected in the Greek concept of the cosmos, which refers to the orderly and harmonious universe. The ancient Indian sage Kannada, who lived around 600 BCE, is credited with developing the concept of atomism, which was later adopted by Greek philosophers like Democritus. Kannada's concept of atomism posits that the universe is composed of tiny, indivisible particles called ANU, which are the building blocks of all matter. This idea is remarkably similar to the concept of atoms developed by Democritus, who lived around 460 BCE. Another area where Indian philosophy had a profound impact on Greek thought is in the concept of the soul. The ancient Greek philosopher Plato, who was deeply influenced by Indian Hinduism, believed in the concept of reincarnation, where the soul transmigrates from one body to another. This idea is central to Hinduism and Buddhism and is reflected in Plato's theory of the immortality of the soul. The Greek philosopher Aristotle also wrote about the concept of reincarnation in his work De Anima. Greek mythology also shows significant parallels with Hindu mythology. For example, the Greek god Zeus is similar to the Hindu god Indra, both of whom are king of the gods and wield a lightning bolt. Similarly, the Greek goddess Athena is similar to the Hindu goddess Saraswati, both of whom are associated with wisdom, knowledge, and the arts. The Greek myth of the Minotaur and the labyrinth also bears similarities to the Hindu myth of the god Krishna and the demon Narakasura. The ancient Indian epic, the Mahabharata, also had a significant impact on Greek literature. The story of the Trojan War, as told in Homer's Iliad, bears striking similarities to the story of the Kurukshetra War, as told in the Mahabharata. Both stories feature a great war between two groups of warriors, with the gods intervening on behalf of their favorite warriors. In addition to philosophical and mythological influences, Indian culture also had a significant impact on Greek art and architecture. The ancient Greek city of Corinth, for example, was heavily influenced by Indian architectural styles with its use of columns, arches, and domes. The Greek sculptor Phidias, who created the famous statue of Zeus at Olympia, was also influenced by Indian art and architecture. The ancient Indian sage Bharata, who wrote the Natya Shastra, a treatise on Indian art and aesthetics, is also credited with influencing Greek art and architecture. The Natya Shastra is one of the oldest surviving texts on drama and theatre, and its influence can be seen in Greek tragedy and comedy. The Greek playwright Aristophanes, for example, was influenced by the Natya Shastra's concept of the rasas, or emotions, which are used to create a dramatic effect. The influence of Indian values and philosophy on Greek history and culture is a fascinating and little-known chapter in the history of ideas. By exploring these connections, we can gain a deeper understanding of the shared values and principles that underlie human culture and society. As the ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle once said, the Indians possess great wisdom, and their philosophers are esteemed as being very near to the gods. Aryabhata, a renowned Indian mathematician and astronomer, significantly influenced Greek astronomy through his works being translated into Arabic and then transmitted to Europe. His revolutionary book, Aryabhatiya, 499 CE, introduced concepts like zero, the decimal system, and a heliocentric model where the Sun is at the center of the solar system, influencing later European scholars like Copernicus and Galileo. Aryabhata's accurate calculations of planetary orbits and his concept of the Earth's rotation on its axis also impacted Greek astronomy, demonstrating the profound influence of Indian astronomy on Western astronomical thought. the ancient Indian philosopher Nagarjuna's Buddhist philosophy impacted Greek thought. His concept of emptiness influenced Greek skeptics and Neoplatonists like Plotinus and Greek physician Sextus Empiricus. Nagarjuna's critiques of essentialism resonated with Greek philosophers. The resemblance between Greek and Hindu gods is also striking. For example, the Greek god Poseidon is similar to the Hindu god Varuna, both of whom are gods of the sea. Similarly, the Greek goddess Artemis is similar to the Hindu goddess Durga, both of whom are goddesses of the hunt and war. The influence of Indian values and philosophy on Greek history and culture is a fascinating and little-known chapter in the history of ideas. By exploring these connections, we can gain a deeper understanding of the shared values and principles that underlie human culture and society. Just as the Greek god Dionysus, with his wild and ecstatic rituals, finds a parallel in the Hindu god Shiva, with his cosmic dance and destructive power, we can see that the cultural exchange between ancient India and Greece has left a lasting legacy in the art, literature, and philosophy of the Western world. As the ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle once said, "The Indians possess great wisdom, and their philosophers are esteemed as being very near to the gods."